Remember a couple weeks ago when Brian May said that he believed he had tore a muscle on his backside when he was gardening and he had to go get treatment at the hospital? Well, after he made that video, he went radio silent for a time, and it turns out that he had a major heart attack where doctors had to input 3 stents to remove clogged arteries.
I had a compressed sciatic nerve, quite severely compressed, and that's why I had this feeling that someone was putting a screwdriver in my back the whole time, and it was excruciating. So finally we started treating the thing for what it was. I'd been putting the ice packs in the wrong place for 10 days or whatever. But in the middle of it, the rest of the story is a little more bizarre and a bit more shocking, really. Well, I was shocked anyway. I thought I was a very healthy guy, and everyone says you've got a great blood pressure, you've got great heart rate and everything. And I keep fit on my bike and everything, good diet, not too much fat. Anyway, I had in the middle of the whole saga of the painful backside, I had a small heart attack. And I say small, it's not something that did me any harm. It was about 40 minutes of pain in the chest and tightness and that feeling in the arms and sweating, and you kind of know, you've heard, and you think, actually this is a heart attack. And cut a rather long story short, my wonderful doctor drove me to the hospital himself in his Corniche, and I went straight into what they call the cath room, I think, and had an angiogram. Now that's the thing where they stick something in your wrist here, and it goes all the way up to your heart, and it can go into your arteries of your heart and find out what's wrong. And it can find out in a way that nothing else can, it seems to me. Nothing else can tell you what the angiogram can tell you. And they looked at me, because you're conscious when they're doing it, they looked at me and said, Brian, I'm sorry, this is a little more complicated than we thought, and we think we should come out of there and we should talk before we actually do anything, rather than just sticking a stent in. So that's what happened. And I went back to a hospital room. I was very lucky to be treated as an emergency case, but I think it kind of was an emergency. But they were very kind. And we talked about it the next day, and there was a lot of pressure because I actually turned out to have 3 arteries which were congested and in danger of blocking the supply of blood to my heart as a valve, as a pump, I should say. And there was a lot of pressure from some quarters to have the open heart surgery, where they saw through your rib cage, really, open you up, open your heart up, and have a triple bypass. A lot of pressure, and a lot of people said, if you don't do this, you're throwing away a terrible, your only opportunity, and you would regret it for the rest of your life. But I had other people telling me, look, you don't need to do this. You can have 3 stents put in, and you can walk tonight or tomorrow morning. So after a lot of thought and deliberation, I opted for the stents. And the next day, actually the same day, I went in there and they did it. And it wasn't that easy, but the only reason it wasn't easy for me was because of the pain, the excruciating pain I had in my leg. Otherwise, it would have been a doddle. I mean, they had to kind of put me out in the end because I was writhing about and pulling my tubes out because the pain was so bad in my leg. But when I came round, it was as if nothing had happened. I couldn't feel that they'd been in here. I couldn't feel anything, and I still can't. It's been amazing. It's an incredible operation done by the right skillful person, and I thank them from the bottom of my heart.
For his part, Brian calls it a small heart attack. It doesn't seem like a small heart attack, and it definitely was a near-death experience. Thankfully, the medical professionals out there were able to save his life and get him treatment and keep the guitar legend around for years to come, hopefully. Anyways, that is all for now. Thanks so much for joining us here today at Rockfeed. If you're new here, please subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss out on breaking news and updates. Thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you all very soon.